Happy Pride Month, everybody. This is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about the character of Maura Karupt, also known as Morris Wilson, played by that of Alan Mingo Jr. on Doom Patrol. This character was really interesting, and I was not expecting the character to go in, the development that they did. Because when the episode Danny Patrol started in season one, you see like this man, and he works for the Department of Normancy. It's a department that try to normalize people with powers and stuff like that, metahumans and stuff like that. And so they detected something that is a sentient being. It's a street that's alive, known as Danny Street. I forget what Danny was exactly in the comics. I think Danny might have been bi in the comics or something like that, but they decided to make Danny non-binary in like the show. And so Danny is just a sentient street that allows people to live within them and just be themselves and enjoy themselves. They can be whoever they want. They could be like a straight person, it could be a person with powers, or more what is known by Danny allows people who are LGBT, people who feel like outsiders in the world and can literally just be who they want and be as happy as they want. And so the Department of Normancy was trying to figure out what the heck Danny was. So they sent Morris in. Morris was terrified when, he went in there and stuff. Then all of a sudden, Morris disappeared for many, many years. And nobody knew what happened to Morris. Now, at this time, I didn't know what a Danny Street was because I never knew too much about the Doom Patrol comics and stuff. The only time I ever saw them was in Teen Titans, the animated series. And so, in this episode, some members of Doom Patrol are still looking for Niles, who have been kidnapped, and by Mr. Nobody. So it's like Larry, who is gay, and it is Vic. And I think those are the only people that went into Danny, I believe. And so, they know that the Department of Normancy is after that of Danny. And so what blew my mind is that they actually find Morris and everything. But Morris is now a drag queen going by the name of Maura Kemp or Crump or something like that. And, they saw her performing at a drag show. I think it's called Peeping Tom or something like that. And so she explains what all happened back in the day, that, she felt like, Danny was calling out to her, and stuff like that, to be who she always wanted to be, something she always feared. And she feared, being a drag queen because of how society looks down on people and stuff. I mean, it's worse enough that he's a black man, but a black man who's now a drag queen, So that's double the hate. But there in Danny the Street, she was able to feel acceptance. And she's the happiest she's ever been. But she fears and worries now that her department is coming in. So, they convinced, at first, she went back as Morris and was going to turn, himself in to protect Danny. But Larry, a man who has struggled with his, homosexuality, he encouraged him to fight for Danny and fight as that Maura. And so that's what she does, full in drag with the people of Danny Street. And as the head agent is like, what the heck happened to you, man? These people have made you crazy in the head. And so she lets him know that no, she's not crazy. There's nothing wrong with her. She is just who she is and how a person is supposed to be. They are supposed to be who they want to be. I mean, if so many straight people are allowed to be who they want and have what they want, why the heck can't people the LGBT, which is something that is going on today in a war that is going on around America, especially Florida. And so with the people of Danny Street, they end up whooping on the agent. And then, of course, Maura dishes out some, like, some crazy kicks and martial arts moves and stuff, which is funny because, like, she's tall enough as it is, but with them platform shoes are even taller. And so she decides she's going to stay there and help protect Danny from, like, anybody who tries to harm Danny. And so she's appeared in other episodes pretty much like, once a season. And so, like, she appeared in the second season when something happened to Danny. I forgot what happened to Danny. Oh, Mr. Nobody turned Danny into like a brick or something like that. So she had like a party with the Doom Patrol to help like lift, like, Danny's spirits and stuff, and then Danny turned I think into like a bus or a RV or something like that. And so then Danny could literally travel instead of teleporting in like different places. And then after that, I don't know what happened in the third season. I don't know if they appeared in the third season or not, but they did appear in the fourth season. I talked about that episode where it's been so long since I saw the fourth season. I kind of forgot now what happened because the second half comes out later this year. Something about Dorothy was going through some like drama, like losing the father and everything, and then somehow this like comic book character came to life, and I do remember in that when Maura was talking about like because they had to keep leaving Danny. Mobile Danny? No, I don't know what the heck Danny's called now. Danny, the RV. And, they have to go out into the real world and society. And that's something she doesn't like because people are still treating them like crap. Making fun of them, pointing and laughing, all because they look differently. And one time she saw this person doing graffiti and she was about to whoop on this boy because, he was hanging out with some people that was making fun of her earlier. But it turns out that he's actually a supporter and everything. And so it causes Maura to realize, they can't hide from society. They can't just hide on Danny. They have to like live in the real world and just let people accept them for who they are. And if they don't, like teach them and everything. And that's really, the truth of the matter is, it's like, look at what's going on with Target now. Like, people from the far right are like attacking Target because of Pride Month, which Pride stuff has been around forever. There's been LGBT people forever. But of course, because of what's going on in Florida with the governor and him raging a war against like the woke and everything, which he cannot even define. Like people ask him to define it and the man can't even define it. How are you going to go to a war with something and you don't even know what it is? But he's just looking for votes. And so anyway, because of that, they got rid of all their pride stuff, which pissed a lot of people off. Well, of course, on Twitter, it was trending, boycott like Target. But when you boycott stuff on like Twitter, it never works. I don't know why people do that. But it does get the message out. Because then you click on it, it's like, hey, what the heck's going on now, Then it's like, oh, this happened and stuff. And so, like, now they have to get like extra security and everything because people are, I'm not even joking, there are pictures of a man walking in Target with an assault rifle checking out the empty pride display to make sure there's no pride stuff nowhere. Like he's policing the store. Like what the, I'm sorry, but this is America and this is not the America I grew up in. You're not supposed to police the streets all because you are a bigot and you can't get over yourself. And so, like, this is something that is very concerning. The world is literally going back in time. And don't nobody want to go back in, well, everybody except for a certain group of people want to go back in time. But everybody else doesn't. Everybody wants to move forward. And this is why voting is important and stuff like that. And this is also why the right candidate who goes up against somebody who's like, a crazy person, you need a sane person who's actually going to be a good candidate. And the people who have gone up against the dude in Florida have not been the best. One was a druggie, and the other one just keeps flip-flopping like parties. Like it's like like he's changing his underwear. One day he's a Republican, then he's an independent, and now he's a Democrat. If you have to change your party that many times, then what the heck exactly do you stand for? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, so, like, and then of course you have stuff going on from J.K. Rowling, who for whatever reason has gone on the attack of, like, trans people and stuff. But she seems to be okay with everything else LGBT, because I mean, she made Dumbledore gay, but for whatever reason, she has a distinct hatred for trans people. And because she is so powerful and so rich, she can never be taken down, like literally. Because even like, that Harry Potter Legacy game that came out, that scored big time, and people didn't care about the controversies. They just cared about Harry Potter. And some people's all like, well, we can distinguish Harry Potter from J.K. Rowling. But then you have the stars of Harry Potter. You got some stars that support what J.K. is saying, and then you got other stars that are angry about what J.K. has said. Emma Watson and what's Harry Potter's name? Daniel Radcliffe, they oppose of what J.K. said. But then you got the dude who played Hagrid, Robbie something, who passed away. He agreed with her. Somebody else agreed too. I can't remember who it was, but that person's still alive. And then you have the blonde girl who played Luna Lovegood, or whatever her name was. She said she supports the LGBT, but she loves herself some J.K. Rowling, and she ain't turning her back on her and stuff. And so then it's kind of like, well, where the heck do you stand if, you say you support this group, but then you're a diehard supporter of the person who's against the other groups? That don't make sense. And make it make sense. Just make it make sense. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, and that's also like another person who's an actress. Sometimes she's an actress, sometimes she's not. Sometimes she's an internet personality. And she is like head over heels about like both the LGBT and Harry Potter. So she's conflicted because she wants to support the LGBT, but she also still supports Harry Potter. And so it's like, it's like a war that is now being waged against like people who just want to be themselves and literally just like can't. And the other thing that's interesting about this character of Maura is that it's more proof, like this character is more proof that people don't want original characters. I remember years ago when this episode aired, there's this guy who's like super toxic. But I used to watch his channel because like he used to hate Star Trek, the newer Trek, and so do I. So I started watching his channel. Then I realized something. This dude isn't just toxic towards Star Trek. He's toxic against everything diverse. And he literally said that this show was great until this episode, which proves the point. They don't want original characters. They always say online, stop race bending characters, stop gender bending characters, and stop turning straight characters LGBT, and just create your own new original character. Well, this character right here is new and original, and yet they still hate this character, all because this character is different, all because this character is considered woke. So these people who say just create your own characters are talking huge BS, like Michelle Rodriguez, who is bisexual and everything. She's from she plays Lenny from the Fast and the Furious movies. Well, but like a video resurfaced from 2015 where she told the people at TMZ she wants all these diverse characters to stop stealing superhero roles from white people. Yeah. She said that crap. And it's like, people were shocked and surprised by this because John Cena, who is white, literally played, well, whatever race Vin Diesel is, he played his brother. And John Cena is not Hispanic. John Cena is white. And she didn't have a problem with that. And so she is part of the problem and everything. A woman of color who gets like, certain roles, and it's kind of like, she goes against like her own kind and everything, all because she's kissing somebody's butt. And so she tried to clarify what she said, talking about, oh, I must have had one of my dumb drunk moments again, and blah blah stuff like that, and talking about, oh, I guess some people got like offended by what I said. So she tried to clarify. If you have to start a sentence like that, then you ain't sorry for nothing. And this is still a woman who defended Leon Neeson, who is a white actor, who literally said he went walking down the streets with a weapon wanting to randomly murder a black man because of something bad that happened to his friend. But he doesn't know the person that hurt his friend, so he's just going to take it out on every black person he sees. But he came to his senses and did not. And she defended this man by saying he's not a racist. I'm sorry, but like, this woman sucks, and she shows her true colors time and time again, and people are not wising up to her. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.